So when we were discussing there, we were looking at legislature, executive, judiciary. Let us try to understand, and lot of your constitution you will be studying legislature, executive, judiciary. When we start constitution and understand constitution, you can majorly see constitution. One is the philosophical part. Constitution mottamu chadivinappudu constitution lo you will see one part is a philosophical part. Philosophical part ఉంటుంది. ఆ philosophical part లోనే we see, you can say your objectives which have kind of become like your preamble గాని, and most importantly fundamental rights and your directive principles of state policy. These you will see, these are the most important parts of your philosophical part, constitution మొత్తం, that we study in the beginning itself. The remaining మొత్తంలో ఏముంటాయి అంటే majorly, I am not saying there are other provisions also, majorly you will see legislature, executive, judiciary. ఇవి కాక some other things are there. Some union territories related, tribal areas related, scheduled areas related, అట్లా వేరే కూడా ఉంటాయి, but majorly they are legislature, executive, judiciary. ఇదంతా structural part. This is the structural part. Okay, this is only actually your polity. ఇదే మీకు actually polity. So in your constitution tells you how the polity, how your government is organized కూడా చెప్తుంది మీకు. Okay, we'll be studying it once we start constitution. We'll be studying, first we'll start philosophical part and then we'll go to legislature, executive, judiciary part. So we have to understand legislature, executive, judiciary a little more better. So let us see in India. Now I am coming to Indian context. Indian context lo legislature, executive, judiciary. If you see legislature in India, if you see వీటిని 3 organs అని అంటారు. 3 organs, or since these have come from many of these Greek philosophers, thinkers, వీళ్ళు, like I told you right yesterday, earliest political thinking and all mostly started there. Okay, the earliest democracy గానీ, ఆ పొలిటికల్ థింకర్స్ కానీ ఎక్కువ మంది మీకు ఈ గ్రీక్ థింకర్స్, స్టార్టింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ ప్లేటో రాసిన రిపబ్లిక్ అని, అక్కడి నుంచి చాలా వరకు కూడా దట్ థింకింగ్ హ్యాడ్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్డ్ us. So this is also called as Trias Politica. Trias అంటే 3 organs which have powers ని 3 organs కింద డివైడ్ చేశాం. ఇండియన్ కాంటెక్స్ట్ లో మనం ట్రయాస్ పొలిటికా అనం, వీ డోంట్ సే, బట్ ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ యూ అన్ ఐడియా. వీ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ ట్రయాస్ పొలిటికా అని కూడా అంటారు. వై దిస్ ట్రయాస్ పొలిటికా కాన్సెప్ట్ కేమ్ అంటే, దిస్ ఈస్ బికాస్ సెపరేషన్ ఆఫ్ పవర్స్. Separation of powers. Yesterday I was telling you why power should not be kept in only one person. If power is all concentrated in one person, then that person could become dictator. Okay, monarch anochu. See, actually the meaning of monarch means the king who will rule until his abdication of throne or death. ఒకసారి కింగ్ అయ్యాడంటే చచ్చిపోయే వరకు అతనే కింగ్. హీ విల్ ఓన్లీ కంటిన్యూ టిల్ హిస్ డెత్ ఆర్ అబ్డికేషన్ ఆఫ్ థ్రోన్. అబ్డికేషన్ ఆఫ్ థ్రోన్ అంటే ఇంకా వదిలేసుకోవడం. Okay, so he will leave his throne and he will step down అన్న అవ్వాలి, లేకపోతే he will either die. Until that time, he will only remain king. Okay, so this kind of person ఒకవేళ రూల్ చేస్తుంటే that is monarch. And monarch plus hereditary rule అనుకోండి, that is a hereditary monarchy అంటారు. Hereditary rule అంటే after king another king. Yesterday we tried to see in these questions hereditary rule. Hereditary rule means his successor, his son or daughter also it could be sometimes. So his son or daughter, they will become the rulers. That is the line of succession ఉంటుంది. అట్లా ఉంటే hereditary rule ఉంటుంది. monarchy plus hereditary rule కాంబినేషన్ లో ఉంటే hereditary monarchy అని అంటారు. hereditary monarchy అని అంటారు. monarch అంటే someone who remains as a ruler until his death, లేదా సింహాసనాన్ని వదులుకోవాలి. He will say I don't want to rule, but he will only be king until his death or until he leaves his throne. That is called as monarchy. So if you have that kind of a monarchy and no democracy or no other form of government, what happens is power is concentrated in one person, in one hands. When you concentrate like that, the person may turn into a cruel dictator goda. Okay, there are high chances that it is said power corrupts. and absolute power corrupts absolutely అని ఒక కోట్ ఉంది. Power has a tendency to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely అని అంటారు. అంటే అసలు పవర్ ఇస్తేనే ఒక రకంగా sometimes you must have seen, okay, in your class only, okay, your friends, all of your friends in your school level, okay, in your school, in your class, all of your nice friends, okay, but by the time you come to 8th class, 9th class and all, somebody is made as a class leader, maybe from your friend only, but once power comes he starts behaving differently and you are not liking it, or by the time you come to 10th standard somebody would be the school pupil leader or head boy or something like that of the school, maybe your classmate only, or maybe you only have seen. Then when power comes, the person may behave differently because of responsibilities or duties or whatever, but he may not be that much friendly, or there are chances like that. There are changes that come with power. With power what happens is your character is tested, okay, because now you have, you can exercise your power in whatever way you want. Similarly, when the power to in fact rule an entire nation is given to the king, okay, high chances that he may use it or he may misuse that power also. Power may be misused also, because power has a tendency to corrupt. But corrupt చేసే టెండెన్సీ, కరప్ట్ అంటే ఓన్లీ మనీ తీసుకోవడం అనేది కరప్ట్ కాదు, కరప్షన్ అని కాదు. పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ ఎ వెరీ రాంగ్ నోషన్ ఆఫ్ కరప్షన్. ఓకే, మనీ తీసుకునే దాన్ని అండ్ ఆల్ దట్ ఈస్ బ్రైబరీ. ఇట్స్ ఎ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎ వాట్ ఎవర్ దే ఆర్ సీయింగ్ యాజ్ ఎ బిగ్గర్ కరప్షన్. Corruption means something which is going or which is not going as per what it should be. So that is what we say is corruption. So now if power tend absolute power ఇచ్చేసారు, నువ్వు ఏం చేసినా ఎవ్వరు ఏం అడగరు, you have absolute power, you are given, you can do anything that you want, that kind of power you have given, then such power can definitely can high chances of that power being absolutely misused. So that's why they say absolute power corrupts absolutely, they say. So now that is the reason they have come up with what we call as separation of powers, or Trias Politica, we say. Trias Politica, that power should not be in one hands, it has to be divided, it has to be separated. So like that came your legislature, executive, judiciary. So we are also following that system. Of course, no strict separate చేయట్లేదు, we are following the parliamentary system of Britain. Okay, so that is, we also have a legislature, we have the executive, we have the judiciary, we have. So these are called as three organs of government or three branches of government. ఏమన్నా అనుకోవచ్చు. What are these three? అంటే government. So when you say government, in government there are three organs you can say, or you can say three branches you can say, no problem. So these are the three organs that we have. So legislature consists of the president of India. President of India is also there in the legislature, and then you have council of states, which is also called as Rajya Sabha. It is called council of states or Rajya Sabha, and then you have house of people, or what we call Lok Sabha. So this is your legislature. This is at the union level. ఇదే మీకు స్టేట్ లెవెల్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ గవర్నర్, లెజిస్లేటివ్, అసెంబ్లీ. ఒకవేళ కౌన్సిల్ ఈజ్ ఆప్షనల్, కౌన్సిల్ ఉంటే లెజిస్లేటివ్ కౌన్సిల్ కూడా, ఇఫ్ కౌన్సిల్ ఈజ్ దేర్ అట్ ద స్టేట్ లెవెల్, అది దట్ ఈస్ లెజిస్లేచర్. దెన్ లెజిస్లేచర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది? వాట్ డస్ లెజిస్లేచర్ డూ? Okay, one important thing it makes laws. Okay, makes laws, makes legislations, makes these laws. The other is it makes executive accountable. It makes executive the accountability unchutundi. It keeps executive in check. Okay, it makes executive accountable. Parliamentary system లో ఈ అకౌంటబిలిటీ ఉంటుంది. సో ఇట్ మేక్స్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ ని కాస్త అకౌంటబుల్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటుంది. అంటే yesterday I was telling you, right, the prime minister, council of ministers, prime minister and ministers కూడా they should enjoy majority support, they should enjoy in Lok Sabha, otherwise they will have to resign, they will lose power. ఓకే, అంటే ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ ని ఎప్పుడు కూడా వీళ్ళకి జవాబుదారీతనం ఉంటుంది. సో విచ్ మీన్స్ దే ఆర్ రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ టు లెజిస్లేచర్. They are answerable to the legislature. Why? Because you did not elect directly executive, you elected a legislature. Are you voting directly who is the Prime Minister of India? Prime Minister votes elections jarutaya, lekapothe Lok Sabha elections jarutaya? Lok Sabha elections. We don't have prime ministerial elections. Do you have assembly elections or do you have chief minister elections? Assembly elections. We vote for, you vote for your MLAs. From them, whoever has majority, that party or that group of parties, they will, from them, they will choose one person. That person will be appointed as chief minister or the prime minister. That's all. But you don't elect your prime minister directly or chief minister directly. So you are voting this legislature, okay, especially Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha indirect. We'll see later. So Lok Sabha you are voting. So executive is always in a way accountable to Lok Sabha. So this is the one which makes laws and also holds government accountable. Executive accountable. Then executive. In executive generally, okay, it is actually the government of India that we say. So in a way you will see that president is also there in the executive. You will see the president is there in executive also. Okay. So actually parliament and parliament consists of president, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Parliament annappudu. Now maamuluga legislature ante Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. But when we say generally parliament consists of president, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Why the president is there like that, I will tell you. Okay. So executive, when you speak about, consists of executive generally emantamante, you have the political executive and then you have permanent executive. అయితే ఈ పర్మనెంట్ ఎందుకు రాయలేదు సార్ అంటే జనరల్లీ మనం రాయం. జనరల్లీ వీ డోంట్ సే వెన్ వీ సే సెపరేషన్ ఆఫ్ పవర్ అంటే పర్మనెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్కి దే ఆర్ దేర్ బట్ వీ డోంట్ దట్ మచ్ రైట్. వీ ఫోకస్ మోస్ట్లీ ఆన్ పొలిటికల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ అండ్ దేర్ పవర్స్. సో ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ అకార్డింగ్ టు అవర్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అండ్ హూ ఆర్ దేర్ ఇన్ ద ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ అంటే ప్రెసిడెంట్ యూ విల్ సీ, of course even kind of vice president also you'll find, but mostly president, most importantly prime minister, council of ministers. Okay, so council of ministers headed by the prime minister. So prime minister and council of ministers most important because they are the real executive power వాళ్ళ చేతిలో ఉంటుంది. Real power lies with the prime minister and council of ministers. Okay, so president, vice president, prime minister and council of ministers, this is the executive. Okay, so PM also you can just mention PM and council of ministers. So actually your PM and council of ministers are the political executive. వాళ్ళు అన్ని డెసిషన్స్ తీసుకుంటారు. they should actually implement the laws which are made by the legislature. Legislature makes laws, you said, right? Who implements laws? Executive implements laws. ఒట్టి లాస్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడం ఒక్కటేనా అంటే లేదు, ఈవెన్ డే టు డే అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ ఆల్సో. ఓకే, సో డే టు డే అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్, ఎవ్రీ డే అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ ఈజ్ రైట్ ఆర్ డే టు డే అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ అంటే రోజు ఎవరు అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ చేస్తున్నారు, అసలు అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ ఎవరు చేస్తున్నారు అని అంటే ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ చేస్తుంది. డే టు డే అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ హూ ఎవర్ ఈస్ డూయింగ్ నా వీ కాల్ ఇట్ ఓన్లీ లైక్ గవర్నమెంట్. వి సే గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా అంటే ఎవరు గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా మీన్స్ we are referring to the executive. When you say government of India, you are referring to this part. I hope you are understanding. GOI, government of India ante evarante, this is what you are referring to. Okay, but only idena ante kaadu, dani kinda oka rakanga kanpiyakunda permanent executive kuda untundi. Permanent executive, who are there in your permanent executive? Civil servants. You are trying to get into the permanent executive. Once you get into your all India services like వెళ్ళినా there are chances you may go into state executive. But if you are serving with the central government, central government lo if you are serving, okay, so all these civil servants who are there working under the central government and all, they will become like the permanent executive of the union. I hope you are understanding this. So this is permanent executive. The bureaucrats, the civil servants, the public servants, వీళ్ళందరూ they are part of permanent executive. That executive machinery, you will all be part of the executive machinery. So you will be in charge of the day-to-day administration. I hope you are understanding this. So you should be implementing the law. Parliament made law. You should implement these laws. Government also takes decisions. So now, normally sir, you told three organs. Three organs of what? Organs of government. These are the organs of the state, you can say, or organs of the government, you can say, 3 organs of the government. So, but government and legislature, executive, judiciary. Then again, why are we calling government? And in a common parlance, in a normal parlance, we generally use this part as government. We refer to this part as government. Though this is all government only, but when we refer to like government of India, okay, when we generally refer to government of India and all, or when you are actual administration chesedi evaru ante executive administers, right? Executive is doing the administration. That's why we generally refer, when we say government, commonly we are referring to this part. We are referring to the executive, we are referring as government. Okay, but is not parliament or judiciary, and they are organs of the state, you can say, organs of government. But we don't actually say that is government. Parliament means parliament. That's the legislature laga chustam. But executive we generally call government. Okay. Similarly, so you don't know what executive does. What does it do? Executive, one, implements laws. The second is day-to-day administration, everyday administration. Oka rakanga governance. Do you remember yesterday? Who manages? Yesterday I was telling you. Okay, managing the socio-economic, political resources of the country. Yesterday I think I had told you. Okay, that is only governance and all. Who should do all that governance and all? Of course, only government does. Other state governance is a bigger thing, but most importantly, government does that. Government does that. Okay, it is like an organization which runs it. Okay, so that is government. So we are referring to that as executive. Kan valle laws chesukochu ante no, parliament will make laws and they will follow. This is at the union level. But state level lo replace it with governor, okay, chief minister and council of ministers. Ministers, state lo ministers, governor, chief minister, council of ministers. Vice governor untaru evaraina? President and vice president is there, but governor means no vice governor. Okay, governor is dandagani chaala mandi antuntaru, but it's okay. But still, governor is there. Okay, there is a role for governor. It's not all dandagani. There is a role. We'll see what are governor's powers, why governor office is important. Then chief minister, council of ministers. So this we call generally referred to as a state executive. దీన్ని మనం స్టేట్ అంటే see ఇదే 3 organs they are there in the state level also. So this is union. What I am showing you is the union government or central government. But నిజంగా central government అంటే మనం దీన్నే రిఫర్ చేస్తాం. Organs of the state or organs of government, if you are saying, you can use all the 3. But if you are actually referring to central government, you will refer to this. But state government అంటే we refer to this. I hope you are understanding. State government or state executive means this is the state executive. అంతేనా? దాని కింద పర్మనెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ ఉంటారు. ఎవరు పర్మనెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్? బ్యూరోక్రాట్స్ అగైన్. ద ఐఏఎస్ ఆఫీసర్స్ ఇన్ ద స్టేట్ క్యాడర్. తెలంగాణలో పోస్టెడ్ అయి ఉన్న ఆల్ ఐఏఎస్ ఆఫీసర్స్, ఆల్ ఐపీఎస్ ఆఫీసర్స్. ఓకే సార్, ఇది సెంట్రల్ సర్వీస్ కాదా అంటే సెంట్రల్ సర్వీస్ కాదు. ఓకే, మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ టెన్యూర్ యూ విల్ బి వర్కింగ్ ఇన్ ద స్టేట్స్ ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ అన్ ఐఏఎస్ ఆర్ ఐపీఎస్ ఆర్ forest service. These 3 are all India services. IAS, IPS, IFS, foreign kaadu, forest service. These 3 are all India services. All India services ane vallani ఏ స్టేట్ కైనా ఒక స్టేట్ క్యాడర్ కేస్తే, if you are allotted a state cadre, you should be in that state, serving under that state, unless you go for deputation. On deputation, if you go to central government, you may work in the central government. Then you will be a part of union government executive. సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్లో ఉంటాం. లేదు అని అంటే ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ అలాటెడ్ స్టేట్ ఇన్ ద స్టేట్ క్యాడర్, ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ వర్కింగ్, దెన్ యు ఆర్ ఇన్ ద స్టేట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్. మీరు ఒక రకంగా మీరు స్టేట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్, ఇదేమో పొలిటికల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్, మీరేమో పర్మనెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్. యూ విల్ బి దేర్ యాజ్ ఎ పర్మనెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ ఇన్ దట్ స్టేట్. సో ఆల్ ద ఐఏఎస్ ఆఫీసర్స్, ఇది ఓన్లీ ఐఏఎస్ ఐపీఎస్ అని కాదు, ది ఎంటైర్ గవర్నమెంట్ మెషినరీ ఐఎమ్ స్పీకింగ్ అబౌట్. Only IAS, IPS officers, only Group 1 officers are kaadu. All your Group 2, Group 3, all the public servants who are there, whoever are working under government, whoever are government servants, government employees, in a way, all anta oka rakanga they are part of executive. Okay, a police constable is there outside, one traffic police is there. Is he not representing Telangana government? Yes, he is a Telangana government employee, isn't it? So he is also part of government. He is also part of executive. తన పైన ఎవరు ఉంటారు, అది పైన కమిషనర్ ఆఫ్ పోలీస్ ఇస్ దేర్, హైదరాబాద్ పోలీస్ కమిషనర్ ఇస్ దేర్, హైదరాబాద్ పోలీస్ కమిషనర్ రిపోర్ట్స్ టు హోమ్ మినిస్టర్, చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్, హోమ్ మినిస్టర్. సో హోమ్ మినిస్టర్ అంటే ఇక్కడ మినిస్టర్ ఉన్నాడు, తన పైన మినిస్టర్ ఉన్నాడు. సో ఇట్ మే గో ఆల్ ద లెవెల్ టు యువర్ పోలీస్ కానిస్టేబుల్. ఓకే, తన పైన ఉండే లెటర్స్ ఏసీపీ, ఓకే, డీజీపీ, జాయింట్ కమిషనర్, కమిషనర్ ఆఫ్ పోలీస్. Commissioner of police refers to, he reports to one minister. So the entire machinery that is there, ఇదంతా కూడా ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ ఒక రకంగా. బట్ అందుకనే మనం వాళ్ళందరినీ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ అని అన్నాము జనరల్లీ. వెన్ యూ సే ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ అంటే కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ పర్పస్ కోసము, వెన్ ఎవర్ వీఆర్ రిఫరింగ్ టు ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్, రిమెంబర్ పొలిటికల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్. దీన్ని మనం సెపరేట్గా అట్లీస్ట్ ఆల్ ఇండియా సర్వీసెస్ సెంట్రల్ సర్వీస్ విల్ సీ సెపరేట్లీ. కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ వాట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ఆల్ ఇండియా సర్వీసెస్ వీ షల్ సీ లేటర్. Okay, I hope you are getting what is executive. So this is executive. Then judiciary. So executive we are saying central, central, state. Legislature also we have seen union legislature, state legislature. Union legislature ante who are there? President. The parliament is there. Parliament lo evaru untarante president is there, also is there, but mostly Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. State koche circle, state legislature ante governor is there, but also most importantly assembly and council. Council is not mandatory, it's an optional. Okay, only few states have council. So whatever is there in the legislature. Judiciary koche circle, we should not say union judiciary, state judiciary anoddu. Central judiciary, state judiciary, like that we should not say, because we don't have that kind of a సెంట్రల్ స్టేట్ జ్యుడిషియరీ అలా ఉండదు. ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ ఇంటిగ్రేటెడ్ జ్యుడిషియరీ, అంటే ఇదంతా ఒక వన్ లైన్లో ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, వేరస్ దీస్ ఆర్ లైక్ యూ హ్యావ్ టూ గవర్నమెంట్స్. ఇక్కడ మీకు స్ట్రక్చర్ చూస్తే ఏ విధంగా ఉంటుందంటే సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్, స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్. ఓకే, పార్లమెంట్ అంటే యూనియన్ లెజిస్లేచర్, పార్లమెంట్ అంటే యూనియన్ లెజిస్లేచర్, స్టేట్ లెజిస్లేచర్. సో సెపరేట్గా ఉంటాయి. వాళ్ళ మధ్య రిలేషన్స్ మే బి దేర్ మే బి రిలేషన్స్, బట్ డూ యూ థింక్ స్టేట్ గవర్నమెంట్ షుడ్ ఆల్వేస్ లిసన్ టు సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్? Is it like that? Should KCR listen to everything that Narendra Modi says? Not required. I hope you are understanding. It is not required like that. State government has its own powers which it gets from the constitution. State government ki tana own powers untai. Sometimes there is coordination, cooperation, relations are there. That is different. But they are not, it is not like, he is just one administrator of a state who is decided by the central government. Kaadu kada. People are electing assembly nunchi oka state government form avutundi. People are voting separately, right? But we don't have district governments. Akkada meeku enti, akkada whatever the states is, district collector and all, they follow. That is different. Okay, so this is how we have. And when it comes to legislature, here also parliament separate, here also state legislature separate. But when it comes to judiciary, you should not see like that. Central judiciary means Supreme Court, state judiciary means High Court. No, it is not like that. This is one integrated. Ikkademo kasta, this is center, this is state, this is center, this is state. Ikkademo idantha oka integrated ga చూడాలి. ఇలా one integrated oka chain of command laga చూసుకోవాలి. Okay, it is an integrated judiciary. Supreme Court top lo untundi, that's why it is called apex court అని అంటాం. Supreme Court is at the top, and below it you will see high courts. Below it you will see high courts for almost every state. And under each high court you will see lower judiciary చూస్తాం మనం. ఒక్కొక్క high court కింద మళ్ళీ lower judiciary is there. Both Supreme Court and high courts, Supreme Court and all high courts are called as higher judiciary అని అంటాం. Supreme Court and high courts are called as higher judiciary. High court kinda unna all these courts are called as lower judiciary. Lower judiciary or also called as subordinate judiciary. Subordinate courts antam. Subordinate courts. All your district court, sessions court, metropolitan magistrate court, judicial magistrate, first class, second class, sessions judge, all these come under lower judiciary or subordinate courts. Supreme Court, high courts ni higher judiciary అని అంటాం. Okay, So they are not like center, state and Gavu. Okay. So Supreme Court can hear the cases related to states also. High Court can hear cases against the central government also. So adi vere. That's why you should not say central government kanta Supreme Court, state governments kanta High Court, ala gaadu. Not like that. This is a different kind of a system, integrated system we see. Higher judiciary, lower judiciary is there, but it is one system that you see here. So our judiciary is an integrated judiciary. We'll discuss, all these will come, if we are going to study all these only. Legislature, executive, judiciary, idantha javabothunam. We are going to study this in a, in very detailed manner, what constitution is saying, how they are organized, everything we are going to study. Okay. So I hope you are getting how the judiciary is organized, like how it is organized. We'll see it in detail. But what does judiciary do? Judiciary, laws ke related, it interprets laws. It interprets laws. That is making laws, legislature. Implementing laws, executive. Interpretation of laws, judiciary. ఈ లా ఇలానే ఉండాలా కాదా, అసలు అది కరెక్టా కాదా, ఏదైనా డౌట్ వస్తే వేర్ యూ షుడ్ గో, judiciary will. It interpret laws, at the same time it dispute resolution, or you can say resolution of disputes. Resolution of disputes anna, cases anna, it can be any case. Judiciary criminal, civil, family matters, family courts ఉన్నాయి, different organization of courts కి వచ్చినప్పుడు I'll tell you how many different types of courts are there, and all these you are going to courts. Okay, why? To ensure justice. Resolution of disputes తోటి ఏమవుతుంది, to get justice. For that you should go to courts. You should not go to parliament, you should not go to executive. Okay, the justice will be given by judiciary by resolving that case, by resolving that dispute. Okay, so like that these three organs are there. Now can you say power anta oka chetlo unda ledha it is nicely divided? It is like separated, right? Power is separated. Okay, if all this power, but think of a king would have all these powers. The king is there, he would have all the powers with himself. Okay, he can make laws, he can implement laws, he can resolve disputes, he can only give punishments. Okay, resolution of disputes లో పనిష్మెంట్స్ అవి కూడా వస్తాయి. దే కెన్ జస్టిస్ చేయడం అంటే ఎవరైనా పనిష్ చేయాలంటే పనిష్ చేస్తారు, ఎవరికైనా పెనాల్టీ చేయాలంటే పెనాల్టీ చేస్తారు. Somebody should be paid compensation, that will be paid. All that judiciary does. So like that, three separate organs we are dividing instead of giving it into one hands of one monarch or a dictator.